Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to your timeless messages from your angels. And just as we connect, as I get set to deliver and bring forth your healing messages for your beautiful heart, the time is 9:11. Emergency, emergency. What is your emergency, dear human, and how is your beautiful heart? It appears all the animals want to be close, and I feel the presence of God incredibly close to all of us because, in fact, God lives within us. And I ask at this time that I am a clear and pure channel to bring through messages of love and support for your beautiful human heart in service to the greatest and highest good of all humanity. And so this is an interactive reading, and we're just going to get going. The date that these messages are coming through is April 24th, 2022, and the energy that we're all within at this time, and I trust at any time that you receive this, you will be feeling the intensity of this time. And I feel that's why they had me mention the 9/11. It's like the alarms are sounding. And so how can we best support ourselves through this intense transition, which is really exciting. It's really exciting for humanity. And humanity is really at the beginning stages of a great transition on this planetary realm, a transition in the experience of being human, being a galactic human, being an angelic human. And so without further ado, let's go. If you were guided to, and I believe they showed up on the page like this, 3 cards, yes they did, 3 cards, 3 piles, or 3 sets of cards lined up, left, right, and center. And so we're beginning with the left. And they're all beautiful. For you at this time, it feels like this is letting you know that beyond the stormy waters that you will find yourself in, or that you may find yourself in, the emotional waters are really what's stormy. You're being assured that there is calm after the storm. And you're being reminded in this moment that you have the power to be the calm within the storm. It's about truth, your truth. And so when you breathe into your experience, all that's there in the present moment is you and your truth. I'm feeling as I connect with this energy, and the second card out is the angel of communication. And so what I'm feeling in my physical body as I connect with the left pile is this real unsettled feeling in the lower solar plexus chakra, just above the emotional body. And it feels like there's, it feels as if the storm is brewing, if you will, underneath the solar plexus, within the emotional body. And there's a need for clearing. There's a need for allowing yourself to experience and feel all that is bubbling up. And it feels like you're trying to keep it down, which keeps you in this nervous, anxious state. And when we connect with the angel of communication, we can see that when we allow, I'm feeling, when you allow yourself to express, it's such a healing, it's like a cathartic healing process, and out the window I can see this beautiful lush patch of green grass. I'm not really a grass fan, and yet I can see this grass, and I have this image of just laying upon the earth and allowing everything to come to the surface. Archangel Michael walks closely with you, and in oracle decks, I really connect with him through the peacock feather. I always connect with him through the peacock feather. So although this is the Archangel Michael deck, when the peacock feather shows up, it's amplified. And Archangel Michael really wants to work with you to cut and clear ties that keep you within the outer edges, if you will, of the storm, instead of being the eye of the storm, the calm of the storm. It says communicate clearly. Don't be afraid to tell it like it is. And Beyond the Storm speaks about protection. So it's important for you to know that as you honor yourself, as you honor the emotions that are presenting for you, as you calm your own emotional waters through the process of release, through the process of coming back into your heart space, through the process of breathing, you're protected and you're guided through this entire journey. Because you are here on the planet at this time as a gift to humanity. And your biggest service is your ability to communicate clearly to yourself so that you can, in fact, communicate clearly with the greater good of an entire community. And let's face it, we are a global community. The protection card is number 28. It's the only card that has a number on it, and that reduces to a 10. And that's been coming up. What did I just... That's been coming up a lot, 1010. And I believe when I last wrote 1010 down, it was blessed new beginnings. And so are you willing to go through it all, to take that leap so that you can achieve what is waiting for you and what is presently here for you beyond the storm? I know it sounds like contradictory, and yet when we are living in the present, when we are the 0 point, it's complementary. So I trust something in there. Oh, that's not even a peacock feather. That is interesting. Maybe you guys noticed that. Okay. It's not a peacock feather. It actually looks more like a fern, a fiddlehead. Any of you Canadians, particularly from the East Coast, it's an East Coast delicacy. The young ferns, fiddlehead ferns, in the early spring. It's actually probably a good time for fiddleheads. And so this, and I was just had said, blessed new beginnings, spring, rebirth. We are moving into our first eclipse season, of this year. And eclipse seasons are 18-month cycles, which last, a lot longer than just 18 months. And these will be our first eclipses with the nodes in Taurus and Scorpio. So breathe into your new life. Breathe your new life to light. You are protected. You are safe. You are guided. Now, this is a really interesting pairing, and a lot of folks on social media had picked the center pile of cards. And as soon as I saw one of the cards, I was like, I feel you. I feel you. It's intense. And the first card I saw was the God of the Underworld. And this guy has been coming up a lot for me personally when I connect with this deck. And from Archangel Michael, It's the abundance mandala. And so, when we're experiencing, and for many, many light workers, a light worker is truly one who is adept at playing in the shadow, playing in the dark, dancing through it all. And it's not for the faint of heart. It's not for the weak or feeble-minded. It is the true spirit. I was mentioning God at the beginning, and this card speaks to me of that entire essence. God is the essence of love that we each are. God is a consciousness which exists within and beyond this space. This, we're in, it's funny, they're just showing me like humans, like the space suits. Our bodies are our space suits. And many, many, many are uncomfortable in the spacesuit. And what we are feeling collective, the external that is influencing is this God of the underworld. It's a real spiritual battle that we are in upon this planetary realm. And there's a lot that we are called to process. And as we do, we prosper, right? It's not easy to go through. Whatever you may be going through, whatever struggles you may be experiencing, just like the left pile, the first message is, this is about how we navigate our emotional waters well in our human spacesuit, if you will, or our human earth suit. How are you doing? How are you doing? It's funny, I'm really being guided to this lit up area on the third eye. And as I was brushing my teeth just before coming to record, let me see if I can get quiet for a minute and bring that message back. God is not experienced in the head. God is experienced through the heart. And so if everybody is being supported to open up. The collective consciousness is awakening, awakening from a long, long slumber. And those of you who are here have very likely been on your path, particularly if you've been here for as long as I've had being around and been sharing in this way rather inconsistently, and that is about to change for the last decade or so. And going forward, it's going to be much more consistent and dedicated to the path of the spiritual warrior, the divine mothers, the divine sisters and brothers waking up and acknowledging their divine birthright and who in fact we all truly are. Children of the heart, children of God. And we came to have this earthly experience in order to support the collective experience of prosperity, not just for a select few, abundance for humanity, righteousness and integrity. Oh, this card is number 37. It's a 10 too, like from the first card. Blessed new beginnings begin within you and within the underworld, within the dark underbelly, the shadow that the human collective has been playing within, has been played with within. I'm being guided to light some sage here. And maybe this is a reminder for you about what supports you and your personal practices and ways to support your heart and protect your heart. Oh, I have a pinched nerve in my shoulder. Actually, today is good range of motion, so I'm happy. It's uncomfortable. And this is what's going on. There is a lot of discomfort. As we spiritually ascend and as we are able to hold higher frequencies, if you will, 5D energies in our day-to-day experience, there is continual work that we must be doing. They're asking me to shift that. So there's continual practices that are great. We're greatly encouraged to do. Do we fall short sometimes? Yes, and usually this is with the intellectualizing of our experience, the intellectualizing all that goes on in the underworld, as opposed to being present for it, allowing it. It says something which is no longer something which no longer serves you is about to end. And we are seeing this personally, and we're seeing it on a global scale. And so what is the best thing for you to do, for any of us to do, is to anchor in, ground down, cut ties, release yourself from the shore of lies, and allow yourself to breathe your way forward into abundance and prosperity and all that is, all that has all the blessings that have your name on it. As I connect with this card, I'm feeling like for some of you, there may be addiction, the energy of addiction around. And it's been said many times, and I know I've said it many times before, that addiction takes many forms. You know, there's alcoholism, drug addiction, nicotine addiction, sex addiction, work addiction, relationship addiction, so many. And at the root of all of it, is the pain of our inner child. And so for some of you, you may be looping around in an addictive cycle, or in an addictive energy, and this would be, this feels like a call to give it up. And know that as you give up, whatever you give up creates more space so that spirit can fill more of your cup from within. So thank you for doing thank you for doing the work of the heart. And if need be, take some time to meditate and place, even just placing your hands on your heart and feeling this space and how this is the most empowering space. This here is the most empowering, and it's the same for all of us. And so if we can get grounded in the experience of now, and there's so much support, and there's so much going on that is supporting our rise, and there is also in equal measure much going on that wants to keep I'm seeing are they called hot air balloons? Yeah, hot air balloons. There's so much that's wants us to rise and is supporting this rise and this new adventure, new heights for all of us, not just for some. And there's this energy that's like, no, they don't want to cut the rope. They want to hold us back. They want to control us. And that's just absolutely not possible going forward. Energies have shifted so much. I feel enough of The human collective consciousness has woken up and is continuing to awake daily, minute by minute. Time's not real. So the more that we can just be present and allow ourselves to be in it, the better we are going to fare through this transition. So that is for the center pile. I trust that something there has resonated with and felt supportive to you. So if you were guided to the right pile, this was the pile that that I was called to, and it's beautiful. They're all beautiful, and they all flow together in such a way that it's like this is where we are. And we got here the goddess of oneness and light ship earth. And, you know, it's funny, I actually didn't even remember that that card was there. How I was saying that we are this, it's like our bodies are the spacesuit. And the goddess of oneness, I have this big blue spruce in front of the house. And since we've moved here, I've really wanted to like create a little space under there. And I've sat under there plenty of times. And the other day, with the issues in my shoulder here, I was guided to go outside. The sun was coming up in the east, of course, where it always comes up. And anyways, I went out under the tree and stood there with my bare feet and planted my back firmly against that tree and allowed myself to work with the support and stability of the tree to bring my body into comfort and ease. And so for you folks that chose the right pile, I'm really feeling this is, you are feeling it all. You're feeling it all, and you're aware of this transition that you are personally in, as well as the collective. And so how are you supporting yourself? And this is a reminder of what actually supports you. And it's simple. It's nature. It's nature. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. And so if you are feeling as we're transitioning through this time, and as we are dealing with global energies, whether we're tuned into them or not, I have no idea of what the story is today about what's going on in the world. I don't need to know, because I feel it in this experience, in this meat suit. I feel all of it. And you know what? It doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good. And so the best way that any of us can be of service to the greatest and highest good of the human collective is to be in the experience without the external nefarious narrative. Nefarious in the most disgusting, vile ways. And we feel it. So, and as well as we feel the galactic support, the sun. We've had so many M-class solar flares in the last month. We are being bombarded, one after another, after another, after another. So how are you navigating? How are you supporting yourself? Are you getting enough rest? Bags under the eyes are not indicative of rest. It's genetic. It's hereditary. Sleep has been at the top of my list. Lots of naps, lots of water, lots of herbal teas and decoctions, and, perhaps a little too much coffee. And I have been making the connection strongly these days, because everything is asking us to clear all away all of the impurities, all of the impurities. So you may be feeling the call to detoxify your life on all levels, what you put into your body, what you allow your mind to be, to witness, how you show up for your heart, your spiritual practices. Because this is what is taken as the collective consciousness awakens. It's a spiritual awakening. What are they awakening to? What are we awakening to? We are awakening to our spiritual nature. And the entire world is in need and would greatly benefit from a spiritual awakening. It's the awakening within our experience, awakening to the fact that we as a collective have been deceived for a long time. I'm thick into the process of creating my womb wisdom workshop, an offering that heart-guided offering. Anyways, I don't want to get into that here. Anyways, that is going to be launched on May 14th. And the deception is long. And as women in particular, we carry the wound of the collective within our womb. There's no escaping it. All on the planet at this time, we're born with the wound. The wound of what? The mother, the grandmother, the divine mother, through all timelines. Well, from the injection of the deception into the human collective that began to steer us, snake us away from our truth, our power, our heritage. We're all of it. And this is a beautiful representation in my, now that I'm actually tuning in. And I hope something there resonated with you. I trust that it has. As I connect with as I'm like sharing and looking here, I'm really seeing this heaven on earth energy. It's born through you and me. And if we can see in this image, all this pink around the earth. And the gold up here, it's the golden light. We are the golden light of the Christ, the Christos Sophia light. It's the Sophia that is coming back online through you and I. And it's beautiful and it's intense. And it is a down and dirty process. And yet we're doing it. We are doing it. And as we do, great abundance and prosperity is born through me and you. Lightship Earth says on the card, personal and planetary healing. And we are going to most affect the collective. It's 9:39. We're not going to go out there and wave a flag and, peace isn't going to be born in the hearts of men and women worldwide. No, it's the journey within. It's this is what we can do. And this is a part of what we have forgotten, which is what has been destabilizing for our roots. And so now through our roots, through our personal in-body experience, we are clearing it so that we can create and make room for all of this, because all of this is always here. All of this is always here, and especially now. The big question is are we going to allow? Are we going to, because what Spirit asks us to do is usually the simplest thing to do. And it doesn't look like much, right? It's going to stand out under a tree. It's going to stand bare feet. It's going for a walk. It's cooking a meal. And we're like, wow, That's just too easy. Like, that doesn't really seem like a big deal. And yet it is. It is. Because it absolutely is. Because it is the recognition and the awareness that you've got the power. I was going to bust out into a song. I'm not going to do that. I'll probably put the song on after and I may share it. We Got the Power, I believe it is. And it's like a 80s, like rap. I can hear it. I can't, I can't find the words right now. So, in the Angel of Oneness, or the Goddess of Oneness, it's funny as I say the word goddess, which is a word that I used a lot previously and have hesitated using recently. And again, this speaks, and I will get more into this on other platforms and at other times. This, though, connecting with it today, it really speaks to what is coming online, what is coming back to life. Through her experience, she is coming alive. Maybe for the first time in this spacesuit, in this earth suit. Maybe for the first time. The message on the card is someone you love is thinking fondly of you at this moment. And I feel like that is God, your angels, the Divine Mother, you. Perhaps you've been able to, in this moment, really come to appreciate who you are, what you are, and all that you are experiencing, and not feel so it's like an overwhelm, right? It's an overwhelm. Come back to your heart, plant your feet, get grounded. Yes, there's a lot going on. And, really what's mostly going on is a shift in planetary consciousness. Humanity is healing one beautiful heart at a time, and you are a pivotal and integral component to this upliftment of the collective to greater heights than humanity has experienced in a very long time. So I thank you from the depths of my beautiful heart for being here at this time. I see you, I feel you, I love you. I trust something here has resonated with and felt supportive and loving to you. Subscribe if you haven't. That's greatly supportive to me. Give a thumbs up. Drop a comment down below. Let's begin in more expansive ways to stay connected, stay grounded, and support each other and root for each other. Dreams of the heart really do come true. I see you. I feel you. I love you. And I honor the sacred warrior of light that is you. God and Jesus love you, and Lisa does too.